Hello Internet, welcome back to more of our Apartment Rat series. In the previous episode we ventured out to this pizza parlor to harvest pieces from their arcade machines. So now we have the materials to make an item that will allow us to make another item that will allow us to make the vehicle RV kitchen unit, which we want for our vehicle. We are tired. I think we're just going to go to bed because why wouldn't we? And that's that. So for this episode, I think we're going to craft. We're going to try to craft raise our mechanics the rest of the way. And we're going to focus in on the commentary. We're going to try to have an actual conversation instead of me just narrating what I'm doing, because I'm kind of getting sick of that and kind of feeling down on myself about the commentary. So we're going to do that. Early in the morning, so it's daylight again. We could go work on the vehicle, but without the solar panels, there's really a limited amount that we can do. I think the solar panels need to be our priority because we need to be getting more battery charge into our vehicle. We're also going to swap those storage batteries over, but that's not a pressing concern because it's going to take quite a bit of time to recharge the ones that are already in there, so we really don't have to worry about wasting charges or anything like that. Need to refill our lighter as well. We'll do that when we get an opportunity. For now, we're going to drop our flashlights. We don't need them anymore. Everything else I sorted in between episodes. I dragged everything up here and sorted them out. So we should have the ability to make the, I want to say, let's not guess. Let's check the RV something. Okay, well, RV is not enough. Kitchen unit requires the hot plate. That's right. So we need a hot plate, which requires the amplifier circuit, which we apparently got from the arcade machines. That's why we wanted the circuit boards. So apparently we got the actual material that we needed. So right now all we need are heating elements, which there should be plenty of in this building. I think we've actually gathered the heating elements previously from this floor. Oh, maybe not. So we'll check these apartments and pick up any heating elements that are around. And of course, there are so many in this building that we don't need to worry about not having enough or anything like that. No? Okay. I think that's all we needed. I think we only needed 4. So we'll head back and we will craft the hot plate. We will use scrap metal would be preferable, I think, of course, because we don't want to use one of our more advanced items that we don't have to. Made a hot plate. Now let's make the kitchen unit. Can't make it. Need a steel frame and a water faucet. That's right, we needed more materials. Faucet we can make, no problem. We'll craft that. And then we need a steel frame, which we have plenty outside. So we will go and fetch that as well. It might be more prudent to craft this downstairs where we wouldn't have to carry it very far. But the honest answer is that I don't feel like dragging lots of small items downstairs. I would rather drag one big item downstairs. So we're going to do that instead. Head back up. We will craft the kitchen unit. Honestly, I don't even think the kitchen unit is the one we really want. I think we want the kitchen buddy, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to focus on getting something in our vehicle that we can use to heat up food on the road. We will use, I don't know, it doesn't matter. We have battery charging at this point. It's not a big deal. Just churning through those splintered woods. The changes to burn time still haven't come down, I don't think. We're wielding it. I guess we weren't close to the table. It is affecting our stamina, but it's regenerating at that same pace, so we don't have to worry about that. And I think we will plop this in the vehicle immediately. No, we won't, because we left our stuff upstairs. So we will just drop this here for the time being. I thought, we'll install it because it could slightly raise our mechanic skill, which would mean we'd have to craft a little less. So we're going to head back up. We're going to pick up our materials. No, we're not. We're going to leave these materials here. We're going to... I think we're going to craft raise our skills some more. We do have the materials to make a few more of these underslung shotguns, so we will do that. Once again, we are not working at a table, so we're going to stop. We're going to drop our in-progress craft on the table. because we will work faster. Oh wait, this was broken, wasn't it? Oh, it works. Okay. Well, previously when I tried to resume a craft, it would continuously prompt me for what I'm supposed to use. Yes. Yes. So we're going to need more pipes. What's our mechanics skill at? 76%? Pretty easy, actually. I thought it would be much harder to get the mechanics skill up. So we're going to swap to the home wrecker, and we're going to head upstairs. And we're going to smash some stuff for pipes. Oh, zombie apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse, isn't it great? Do you think it's great? I kind of think it's great. Is that a pipe? It's not a pipe. These, I think I incorrectly stated before, they give piping, but it's not actual piping. Please stop. Do we get more? I suppose we get more materials if we deconstruct this as opposed to smashing it. So why don't we try that? Just to see how much more we get. 6 pipes. Pretty great, actually. So I do think we're going to focus on deconstructing instead of smashing. I thought it would just give us more sheet metal, but it in fact gives us more pipes as well. Can we deconstruct this stuff? Cannot deconstruct that. We can deconstruct this. Rubber hoses, small electric motor. Okay, so we could have also gotten our electric motor from here. I don't think small is super useful. Maybe for crafting reasons. Do these give pipes when smashed? They do not for some reason. Okay. Yeah, zombie apocalypse. You know, when I was a teenager, we had a zombie apocalypse plan, which is really dumb to say out loud. But we had, in our little group of friends, we had kind of come up with this plan of where we would go, who we would try to reach, things like that. And I don't have that anymore. I don't know that many people have a proper zombie apocalypse plan. I think a lot of people have so we could have gotten electronic scraps from these the whole time. Or circuit boards, I mean, from these the whole time. And amplifier circuits. We're going to take those. I mean, we should really take all of it. We're not going to do that, I guess. Yeah, you know, we had a plan of where we were going to go. We kind of had some supplies sequestered away. I think a lot of people who are into survivalist culture have plans like that, where they think like, okay, if tomorrow the Russians invade, we're going to go here. I have a bug out bag. I have some basic equipment already lined up, so we know where we're going. We're going to this cabin at this particular location, and it's like, I don't have any of that, you know. Like I can barely function as an adult, let alone try to save my life during an apocalypse. Like, don't think I could do it. So I don't know how valuable I would be these days. Of course there's a corpse here, so we're gonna advance inventory over the corpse. Okay, we'll just haul these into the hallway. Yeah, I don't have a plan. Don't know that I'd be very useful in the apocalypse. I know a little bit of medical training type stuff, and that's about the extent of my experience. I mean, I'm a pretty big guy. I suppose I could be, you know, pretty good for murdering zombies, but I don't know that I would be good at it, and I wouldn't want to risk it if I didn't have to. You know, I don't want to be the group's go-to zombie murderer. That seems like a terrible position to hold in a group surviving the apocalypse. You don't want to be the designated, you know, guy that has to clear out the zombies. That's a best way you can go to get yourself killed, you know. So I don't have a plan. I have kind of a bug out bag, but also not really a bug out bag. It's more like I have some stuff that in an emergency I could grab and go, but it's not like, I mean, it's not like the go bag in Cataclysm or the go bag that some of you might have, because I think a lot of survivalist types really like Cataclysm, so I imagine there are some of you out there who are into that kind of thing, so I can't compete with you, you know, with that kind of thing. But really, what are we running out of? Duct tape. Okay, so we did really churn through that duct tape. We'll make them one at a time and hope we can level up before we lose the duct tape. Pipe, yep. Okay, one more. hopefully, we did level up. So we should now be able to put those solar panels in our vehicle, which is just fantastic. So we're going to go do that. We do not need the home wrecker. It's just going to take up space. Drop that. Wield the quarterstaff. Is there any other vehicle parts up here that we wanted to take down? No. Okay. That's all of our crafting junk from the last 20 some odd episodes. I think this is episode 30 of this series. I don't know. It's been like a month though. How about that? You know, I don't often pay a lot of attention to those sort of things, because it just doesn't matter to me which episode we're on. You know, it's not super relevant to the content you're making. It's more of just a milestone type thing. Unload the welder, reload the welder, and drop the non-useful battery. And we'll drop these light batteries as well to charge, because why not? Even though we have the higher capacity ones, it really doesn't hurt to have more charges. Okay, so plus 4 watts, I assume. We talked about this in a previous episode. I think this is plus 4 watts, which is extremely low. Much lower than a running vehicle, obviously. Where did we put the solar panels? Under this vehicle thing. So we're going to go ahead and start installing these panels. We're going to install the super good ones down the middle row of the vehicle first. That way they are more protected. We're dehydrated. We need to go inside and address that. So we're going to put these down the spine of our vehicle, because they will be more protected. That way if something hits the side, they're less likely to damage our higher quality panels. But it looks like we're going to have a surplus of them. We'll put them all the way up. So we will probably extend them to the outside, but we want them as interior as we can to protect them from violent zombies. Yeah, I don't have a zombie plan. You know, when I was a teenager too, we talked about it all the time. Because everyone in our group, right, all the guys have girlfriends, except for our one friend who had a boyfriend. But, we all had partners, is my point. And they would come over, and they weren't really in the culture like we were. So they'd be like, yeah, but if I was a zombie, you wouldn't kill me, right? And it's like, no, bitch, you're dead. Like, if you're a zombie, I'm going to shoot you in the face and walk away. And it's like, what? You know, like, are you serious? And it's like, yeah, you're dead. What am I supposed to do? You know, and I just remember that. And I remember, because we would deadpan it and be like, yeah, of course I would kill you. Why wouldn't I kill you? And then they're offended. And you're like, well, you know, it is what it is. Didn't need to start a fire. I keep doing that because I'm used to things being frozen. What do we want to eat? We did talk about making some bread in the last episode. Kind of want to focus on the vehicle. This one, though, what time is it? It's actually in the afternoon. Maybe we should go out and grab some cattails. We'll work on the vehicle until the sun goes down. Then we'll go get cattails and we will try to turn them into flour. So while we're here, let's eat something. Okay, before we keep... God, I have such a short attention span. Let's... I ate some pistachios by mistake. Let's eat... Not the bologna. I want to make meat sandwiches with that. We'll eat some nuts because they're pretty high in calories. We will, of course, drink something to keep our character from being dehydrated. I think we drank enough. And then we will craft a... we do have a food processor, right? Let's look for our food processor. Food. Dehydrator. Okay, that's a bit of a bummer. The food processor would have allowed us to make flour much more quickly. Food. Can't make... Oh, we can make a processor. A micro motor. Oh my god, so there's another motor, even smaller? And presumably... So if I'm thinking of a food processor, it would be like on par with a blender. I can't think of anything else that would have such a small motor in it. Maybe a fan, but we haven't found any fans. A micro motor. Micro motor. I literally can't think of anything. Maybe the circ saw? Although I think we deconstructed a... Yeah, we did, because I just saw a circular saw blade. Let's look anyway. Circular saw. Small electric motor, okay. And then presumably the chainsaw would also be small. A micro motor. Where do we get a micro motor? I can't think of anything we would have that would have a micro motor in it. Maybe the smoother? I can't. Page down. Oh, can you not? You can't deconstruct this. Metallic tool is most often used to smooth. Oh, it's literally just like what's the word for that? There's a word for that style of tool. It's literally just a piece of metal that smooths. I thought it was like a polisher type thing. So I don't think we have anything that's going to have a micro motor, and I really don't think there is very much in the game that probably gives a micro motor. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So our alternative is to make a cairn. Is used for grinding grain. Let's look at our flour recipe. Flour. So we can make this with a cairn, a food processor, or a mortar and pestle. The cairn is so obviously the food processor is the fastest, followed by the cairn, followed by the mortar and pestle is the slowest. Really unfortunate. We're going to go, I guess we'll make a cairn. We'll make a cairn in preparation for this evening. Ceramics or rocks. So we will go out and gather some rocks. I have a short attention span, so we're all over the place today. We probably have some leftover rocks here. Oh, in fact, right there in front of me, those are the wrong buttons. 8 rocks. Let's make a cairn. We'll use the heavy stick, I guess. Making the flour out of the cattails will allow us to have a renewable food source. It will also enable us to make meat sandwiches, which is really the only thing that these bologna and lunch meat are good for. The bologna here we have is really such low calories that we would want to eat it in combination with something. And really the only thing that we would use bologna for is, actually maybe there's other stuff. Component bologna. Soup, a deluxe sandwich. Requires a ton of stuff. See, this is something else that kind of bothers me about Cataclysm, which God knows I talk about it all the time. A deluxe sandwich requires a cheese item. There's no alternative to cheese. I think it would be better to, create a non-cheese alternative and still allow you to make a deluxe sandwich. Actually, you wouldn't be able to do that because the contents of the subsequent item would automatically have dairy. So that's a gluten-free deluxe sandwich, still contains dairy. So literally just a meat sandwich, and that's it. We can make wood soup, but that has such low calories it's hardly worth it, because this number is 100% is incorrect. The broth and soup in the game has very low calories in general, plus it requires some stuff that we're not going to have. So it's pretty much just the meat sandwiches. But, that's something, it would at least allow us to use up the meat. So we're hungry and we're still very thirsty. Eat some brownies. And we will drink some more water. And we'll drink one more water. Okay, and it should be, we're going to go out. Going to drop the cairn? No. So drop the cairn and the rocks. We'll go out and work on our vehicle until the sun goes down, and then we will head off to gather some cattails. We don't want too many because converting the cattails into flour will take quite a long time with hand tools. So we don't want to overdo it and then have them rot before we can process them. Install upgraded solar panel. Up, and we're going to be wet again because I forgot to put on our rain gear. So we're probably not going to want to continue crafting, but we're going to try anyway. Upgraded solar panel. I don't really care if you're sad. I'm sad all the time and I keep going, so you can do it too. I don't think we're going to be able to... Oh, okay. So we will craft and install this last solar panel, and I think we'll go ahead inside before our character loses his little mind. This is full of water. I guess we should carry this upstairs because we are about out of water up there. Drop the water. I suppose we can make some water really quick as well. Yeah, zombie apocalypse plans, they were fun when I was young to kind of plan and think that we knew what we were doing. Honestly, though, the only real zombie apocalypse plan is you're going to die. Like, there's no way kind of around that. People who think they're going to make it are the ones who are not going to make it. And I think everybody has this attitude of like, yeah, I'd be Rick Grimes. I'd be Daryl. No big deal. It's like, well, would you though? Or would you just die within the first 24 hours like the majority of human beings? Like, you know? So I think, you know, it's a little bit of a dark way to look at it, but that's the point of the zombie apocalypse. It's not exactly the easiest thing to overcome. I don't know how much goes in a 3-liter jar, so we're just going to fill this up. Okay. In fact, why don't we just do that until we're about out of water, and we'll take this back downstairs. Pour in the container. So there we have 3 bottles of water. Do we still have the... No. So we'll pick up the jerry can again. Wish this was in the order that they were dropped, like it used to be, instead of alphabetical order, which I find for some reason much more annoying, even though you would think alphabetical order would be much more navigable. And drop this and reset the funnel. Nope, activate the funnel. Okay, so that'll pick up some more rain for us. Stark, why don't we go grab some cattails? We are pretty unhappy right now, but I could give a shit about how he's feeling. Pick cattails. That is a cattails. Yep, okay. Is that proper? Is it cattail if it's singular? Although I think they're supposed to be a bush or something. They're not actually a single cattail. Okay, how many... Which thing do we make into starch? Cattail rhizome. So we don't want the stalks because they're not very nutritious and you have to cook them, otherwise you get pretty angry when you eat them. We'll keep them just to take a look at what kind of calories they have, but mostly we want the rhizomes. Is our inventory full? It's full. So we're going to drop the stalks. We should have dropped all of our other stuff as well. There's a cell phone. Okay, so there was a corpse here, but I'm not super worried about that. Yes, yes, yes. Pick up the rhizome, drop the stalks. And we'll go with that just for now because I'm not really sure what the quantities look like and I don't want to overdo it and waste cattails, because once we pick them, they're on a clock for how long it will be until they rot. So let's try flour. No, we want to make starch. Starch, 2 of 6. It will take 1 hour and 15 minutes. Let's make 1. And let's see if starch spoils. Taking a very long time, of course, using the cairn. No, not using the cairn, just using... I guess it is the cairn, I don't know. So let's look at the starch. Get items. Starch, where? Starch, 1 starch. 668 calories. There's a helicopter outside of my home currently. Still has more than 1 day until it spoils. So we want to convert this immediately into flour. Dried rice. No, we want the... Okay, helicopter. I mean, it literally sounds like they're hovering over my house. Is it going down? Is this a Black Hawk Down situation? I'm going to keep my ears open, see what happens. Just in case I need to rush outside and save a bunch of lives. You could argue that I've saved a life before. We could talk about that sometime. It's nothing grand and you know, spectacular or anything, but it's interesting. So let's look at the flour, see what the spoilage is on flour. 1 starch gives 15 flour. 1 starch requires 2 cattail stalks or rhizomes. So about 7.5 flour per rhizome that we pick up. And it takes like 4 hours from start to finish to convert that to flour, which is huge. We really need to find a food processor. However, this will last for 3 seasons and will allow us to make bread. In fact, this might have been foolish because I kind of think we actually already found a bunch of flour. Yeah, should have thought that through. But that's okay. I think we will continue converting these for the time being, just to keep them from spoiling. It seems wasteful to let them go. So we'll make starch, and we'll make the remainder. Again, this is going to take a very long time. Yeah, I think everybody just dies in this, right? Like, cataclysm comes up, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to die. There's no there's no getting around that. Billions of people across the world are going to perish, and you think you're going to be the one who's like, yeah, but I have like a baseball bat and a crossbow, so I'm going to make it. It's like, no. No, you're not. It's cute that you think that, but no, you're not. We're going to leave this on the counter as well because I think flour gets dirty when it's dropped on the ground. Although I do notice there's dirty, clean water here for some reason, and I don't really know what happened there. So, but the flour seems to be fresh and fine for the next 3 seasons, which is basically a year at this point. So let's look. Do we want to make some bread? Bread only lasts for about a week. Why don't we make a little bread? Bread, flatbread, cornbread. So regular bread requires yeast as well, which is much harder to get our hands on. I don't think you can make yeast. Sealed yeast culture. Sealed flask holding sanitized yeast wort. You may harvest the yeast inside once it's done culturing. So it takes 2 hours. So basically we would make this, and all it requires, I don't understand. It requires water, yeast, and sugar, and presumably produces more yeast. Why don't we don't have a glass flask. Why does it use, why can't you just use a jar like every other freaking recipe? Flask. Can't make one. Awesome. So what an obscure random freaking item to require in order to make yeast. You can't use, maybe yeast reacts poorly to light. I can't think of any reason why it would need, I don't care. Let's make, god damn it. Let's make some bread. We don't have cornmeal in large amounts, so we're just going to make some flatbread. Flatbread takes about a week to perish. Cornmeal is the best because it takes several weeks. I also tend to make Johnny cakes, I think, because they have a pretty good lifespan on them, and they used to be how I would survive with basically nothing but cornmeal. Gluten-free Johnny cake is cornmeal. I meant flour. Why is there a gluten-free version if it only requires cornmeal anyway? Because it's already gluten-free. Right? Like, gluten is only, if it's made from cornmeal, it doesn't have gluten in it. Anyway, let's make some flatbread. We'll make 2 portions. We'll make 2 flatbreads. We will make some meat sandwiches. Meat sandwich with the bologna. We'll make, it only lasts for 2 days. We'll make 1 with the bologna. It takes 5 slices of bologna for a meat sandwich. In what universe? And we will eat the meat sandwiches. Pretty good calories on them. We are full now. We will take another drink because we were struggling with dehydration. I drank OJ by mistake, so we're a little over the top. For now, I think we're going to call the episode here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will be back with more Cataclysm in the near future. I think maybe we'll talk about how I saved a human life in a future episode, or at least how I kind of think maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe it's a gray area. Maybe it's me tooting my own horn. I don't know. But we'll talk about that in another episode. For now, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, and I will be back with more in the future. And I will see you in the next episode.